In part 1 and part 2 of the Beginner Excel series, we looked at how you can do a bunch of things in Excel, such as import data from CSV files, navigate to cells and name ranges, search for data within your Excel workbook, adjust the row height and column width, customize your header and footer, freeze worksheet rows and columns, and display all the formulas in your workbook. It's time to take this a step forward and move on to more complex stuff that you can do in Excel. Specifically, in part 3, we'll look at how you can set a print area in Excel, insert or delete multiple rows or columns, fill cells by using autofill and flash fill, format cells quickly by using the format painter, wrap text within cells, and modify cell alignment. Let's get started. If you will be printing out any portion of your workbook, for example an invoice, then you must know how to set a print area in Excel. A print area is one or more ranges of cells that you designate to be printed. If you define a print area, then only that range of cells gets printed when you print out your Excel workbook. You can have more than one print area. When you print your Excel workbook, each print area gets printed on a separate page. To specify a print area, first select the cells that you want to define as your print area. You can select more than one print area. To do so, hold down the Ctrl key on your keyboard and select multiple areas. After you have selected your print areas, go to the Page Layout menu. In the Page Setup group, click the down arrow icon next to Print Area and choose Set Print Area. Excel will add borders around the areas that you have set as the print area. If you have added one or more print areas and you want to add some more print areas, then you can continue selecting more cells or ranges and then click the down arrow icon next to print area and choose Add to Print Area. There are two ways to view your print area. On the View menu, you can click on the Page Break Preview view. Excel will show your print areas with thick outside borders. Alternatively, you can go to File, Print, or hit Ctrl P or Command P on your keyboard to bring up the printing menu. Excel will display each print area as a separate page in the Print Preview window. You'll be working with a lot of data in Excel, so it's important to know how to quickly insert or delete multiple rows or columns. One way to quickly insert multiple rows is to select the number of rows that you want to insert, then right click and choose Insert. To select a row, you can click the row number to the left. To select more than one row, use the Ctrl key on your keyboard. You can also insert rows by going to the Insert menu, clicking Insert, and then clicking Insert Sheet Rows. Whenever you insert rows, the rows are added above the rows that you selected. For example, if you had selected 2 rows, then when you choose Insert, 2 blank rows are inserted above those 2 rows. The method to insert columns is similar. Select the number of columns that you want to insert. You can do this by clicking the column name to the top of the column. To choose more than one column, use the Ctrl key on your keyboard. Then right-click and choose Insert. You'll also find a similar menu option in the Insert menu. To delete rows, simply select the rows that you want to delete, right-click and choose Delete. Similarly, to delete columns, simply select the columns that you want to delete, right-click and choose Delete. Excel gives you a bunch of options to quickly fill in data. For instance, if you want to fill in numbers 1 to 10, there's no need to type out each number one by one. You can type values 1 and 2 one above the other, then select the two cells and click the small icon to the right of the bottom cell and drag it down. This icon is called the fill handle, and it can be used to autofill common patterns such as numbers, days of the week, or even months of the year. When you drag the fill handle down, you'll see a small menu. This menu contains a very interesting fill option called Flash Fill. Flash Fill tells Excel to identify the pattern of data in a cell based on data in the preceding columns and to use that pattern to fill in data for subsequent cells. For instance, you can fill in a bunch of first and last names in two columns. Then simply enter one or two full names in the top cell. And when you drag the fill icon down, choose Flash Fill. Excel will fill in all of the full names for you. You can use Flash Fill to do the reverse as well. For instance, if you're given full names, you can use it to automatically enter the first and last names of people in two columns. When you work with large amounts of data or import data from different sources, you'll find that different cells are formatted differently. Some cells might already contain data in the formatting that you want, and you might want to copy this formatting over to other cells in your worksheet. Excel provides you with an option called the Format Painter to do this. The Format Painter icon is available in the Home menu under the Clipboard section. It looks like a paintbrush. Let's see how to use the Format Painter. Assume you have a cell that contains the formatting you need. For instance, the cell might use the bold style and might have a different font color and fill color. You might want to apply the formatting from this cell to another cell or range of cells. To do so, first click this cell. Then click the Format Painter icon. You'll notice that the background of the Format Painter icon changes to gray, which means that the Format Painter is currently active. Now, you simply click the cell where you want to apply this formatting, and the formatting from the source cell gets carried over. In other cases, you might have cells in different parts of your Excel sheet where you want the same formatting to be copied over. You'll notice that once you use the Format Painter on a cell, the gray background behind the Format Painter icon goes away, meaning the Format Painter is no longer active. But there's a trick to keep it active. In case you want to apply the Format Painter to multiple cells that are not contiguous, then after you click the source cell, instead of single clicking the Format Painter icon, double click it. This keeps the Format Painter icon active. Now click the cells or cell ranges where you want this formatting to be copied over. You can do this as many times as you want. After you have copied over the formatting to all of the destination cells, press the Escape key on your keyboard to deactivate the Format Painter. Sometimes you might have text values in cells that go beyond the cell boundaries. This is a problem because you won't be able to see the entire value in that cell without adjusting the width or height of the cell. Fortunately, Excel allows you to wrap text within cells. The first method is to go to the Home menu and within Format Cells, choose the Alignment tab and select the checkbox that says Wrap Text, then click OK. The text gets wrapped within the cell. If you thought that this method was too long, there is an even shorter method to wrap text within cells in Excel. With the cell or a range of cells selected, just press Ctrl+1 on your keyboard to bring up the Format Cells menu. Here, you can go to the Alignment tab. If you had already selected the Alignment tab when using the Format Cells option previously, then Excel opens directly to the Alignment tab. On the Alignment tab, just select the checkbox that says Wrap Text and click OK. In some cases, you might want to modify the alignment, orientation, or indentation of cells in Excel. For instance, if your headings are too long and you don't want the user to scroll too far to the right, then you might want to have slanted text in your headings. First, select all of the cells in which you want your text to appear slanted. On the Home menu, under the Alignment section group, you'll see an icon with a slanted line that says Orientation. Click the down arrow icon next to the Orientation icon and then choose one of the available options. For now, let's choose the option that says Angle Counterclockwise. In the Orientation options, you will also see an option called Format Cell Alignment. This option opens into the Alignment tab within the Format Cells menu. On the right, you'll see a small window where you see the current orientation of the cell. You can drag the slant angle in the window by using your mouse. Alternatively, you can change the angle at which the text in the cell or range of cells must be slanted by typing into the text box. You might want to change some additional formatting options for text that is slanted. Feel free to apply the formatting that you want for such cells. Typically, you will want to center the text within the cell. You might also want to apply some borders to the cells. Thank you for watching part 3 of this beginner series on Microsoft Excel. If you liked this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more such videos.